kind of squeaked by their last opponent. It was actually a very close series in the end, even though Mind Freaks only put up 3 goals. Direwolves did not beat them in the same way that Ground Zero took down Eros, of course. They absolutely crushed them. And I think the Deaths touched all the right points. Here's Torsos here for Ground Zero, as they do start off on the right foot.
And you saw Amphis, he got the musty flick into a dunk. Express tapping that off the ceiling, and you can already see the type of pressure that Ground Zero is going to be putting up against this Wolves squad.
And the last 9 games, Ground Zero has won all of them. And not to mention, only one of those series out of the 9, Direwolves were able to take more than 1 game. That was all the way back at the beginning of the year. So this matchup is very one-sided towards Ground Zero. You heard the Deaths talk about they want to finish out with the major, and, well, they double up here in the first 30 seconds.
And you see how much free reign Express had on the backboard here. There was nobody around on that replay. And then even on the drop-down pass, nobody from the Direwolves in position to knock it out. So this is a hot start for Ground Zero, and you can see why the desk was even considering, or even putting out there, they think it's possible and even likely that we will have a sweep. That's how good Ground Zero is.
Oh, there's an opportunity, though, for Direwolves. It's not like Ground Zero aren't giving up some chances here, as Direwolves had some space to put one on target. Didn't come through. But right now for Direwolves, they just have to stop the bleeding. They're not even a minute in. They've already given up 2 and haven't had much space to work with. That's a good flip reset, and Vibe can't get back to it.
Saw the chance there on that flip reset, making the defender miss. But now you're seeing Express bump Fiber. Torsos, nice 50 on Misty. Vibe will tip it up. Misty off the wall. Passes across the net. No one was there. Had an attacker been there, that pass would have been perfect, but it still works out. A block right on the goal line. Fiber will score first for the Direwolves.
Yeah, solid challenge from Fiber, and I think Torsos was just trying to scoop this one across, and I think he figured if Fiber went into that challenge, it would just pinch out to the corner. But instead, Fiber challenged that one so perfectly. It goes through the ball and through Torsos into the net. Direwolves, they get on the board here.
Perhaps Ground Zero getting a bit too comfortable. Generally, you don't want to ever dribble out in front of net like that when you know there's an attacker right on you. But Torsos, like you said, perhaps thinking it would have pinched out, taking a risk.
It's a tough ask, I think, for Direwolves here. I mean, not only because of how well Ground Zero have played, but you could just see the individual ball control that each player has on Ground Zero just in their first 2 goals. I think when the second one went in, Direwolves had a total of 14 points. Nobody's really getting a touch, but look at the double tap from Vibe to tie it up.
I mean, you talk about individual mechanics, individual skill. Look at that. The double tap from Fiber. I think he would have got there as well, but Vibe just makes sure things go in, and we are all tied up.
And hey, Yummy Cheese Man said it. It might work in Direwolves' favor being the underdog here, knowing how comfortable Ground Zero is in this matchup. To come out and really stick it to them, they came out a little bit soft, but now all of a sudden, 2 goals back and a great double tap by Fiber, or excuse me, Vibe. As Direwolves.
Oh, it was Fiber. Vibe put it in on the goal line, but Fiber, he was the one who did the double tap work.
That's the kind of stuff that Direwolves are going to need, though. And like I said, it's not without chances. Like Ground Zero, they're giving up that space for Direwolves to put something together.
Ground Zero now giving up their lead, having to fight back. You just passed the halfway point of the game. Express trying to dribble, goes for the 50. It pinches off the side. Torsos up. Now going for net. The bump didn't connect. You saw there was a bump attempt there from Express. If that connects, it's going in.
Oh, and Amphis almost putting that one near post. And here's an opportunity. Gets by Express. So chance for Direwolves, they can get a hold of it. The defense does get back for Ground Zero. But I like what Direwolves are getting here. I think they took a second to get calibrated against Ground Zero. But now all of a sudden, they're controlling the midfield a little bit more. Here's a shot from Torsos off the back wall. Tough save. Amphis, can he get another touch? He can, but Misty there to clear it away.
Fiber downfield. Express. Torsos now gonna ditch out of the play. Amphis bailing out as well. Half flipping, picking up the full boost. Perhaps a solo play. There's the Musty going for the read off the backboard. Amphis, he did get a scoring opportunity for his team that they did put away, going for that musty off the wall. And it is a legitimate way to get extra power on the ball if you can time it just right.
Oh, that was so tough for Vibe to put that one across, and it would have been a goal if he had. He was downfield on the clear. Now Torsos back post. Can't get it, it's too wide. And with a minute left to play, we're still tied up.
Memphis sees Torsos in the middle, but didn't connect on the pass, and boost grab from Vive. This is a retreating situation. Vive will get stopped by Express. Misty poking it around Torsos, but Express is there to help. Down to the ground now in the corner. 50 position. Bounces over Torsos as well. And that was the chance for the Direwolves. Who was that? Vive that missed it now. Dribbled all the way downfield and scored by Ground Zero on a play that you thought Direwolves were going to go ahead on.
It was open for Direwolves, and they just couldn't get around. I think it was Vive on the shot. And for Ground Zero, what a way to turn it back into a situation on offense. Here's a fake kickoff now from the Direwolves as Fiber looking for that back wall. Misty's there, but they break you down. But that could be the chance for Vive. Torsos jumps in front of it. Still opportunity here in the waning seconds of game one. Direwolves not going down without a fight.
They're fighting hard. Demo. Now last 10 seconds, Misty jumped.
Vive
on the block and it off the post and went out. Vive. He seemed to be the player in key spots for the Direwolves, but he just was not able to rise to the occasion. And Ground Zero will edge out a win, but Corelli, the first 30 seconds, we were thinking, oh man, this is gonna be a quick series. But then the Direwolves, led by Fiber, bounced right back, and that was even a winnable game for them.
Oh, absolutely. It was winnable for Direwolves. That was two huge opportunities, and even there at the end off the post, I mean, man, with 5 shots, you were able to put away 2. They could have put away all of them, honestly, with even that many chances. And you kind of start to wonder here what Direwolves can do in this series, because again, you know, we've just talked about it. We've talked about it. This is very one-sided, or it should be on paper. But with the way this first game has gone, you would never know. Direwolves really putting on a show here against Ground Zero, and certainly taking advantage of that space. I don't think Ground Zero are playing at full pace right now.
At Ground Zero, you saw him slowing it down, and it bit them on that play where Torsos was trying to dribble the ball out of his own half right in front of net. Got blocked, and then it ended up being a goal. So, well, I'm sure Ground Zero going to start picking up their pace a little bit. You saw them in the first 30 seconds. They came out swinging.
Yeah. And we were like, okay, here's Ground Zero, but then that was Direwolves coming back, and a couple great individual plays. I mean, the goals that Direwolves put away, it wasn't just like, oh, Ground Zero messed up. I mean, those were great goals from Direwolves. So let's see what they can do here in game 2. And they already have a better start by not giving up 2 quick ones.
Express trying to pass to himself off the sidewall. It's broken up. Ampus beat out by Vibe. Torsos beats out Fiber and will go towards net. Misty will deflect it to the corner. Fiber gets the corner boost, but Ampus stops it there. Now leaking out into the middle. Express to Ampus, who was in the corner. Back pass to the middle. It was behind Express, but still Ground Zero. They were able to march on for a moment, but it's cleared out. Now Vibe will retreat back. Ampus airborne. Did he get the flip reset? No, he didn't.
Although from Ampus, and I think he'll take the individual play anytime he has it, and he has over 70 boots there, and that was plenty to get down the field if he got a better pickup. Torsos looking for some space as well, but not finding it. And I think Direwolves doing a good job of shutting down that space, but this one's getting scary. Express knew all the way. And a great touch from Fiber, but at least not let Torsos be comfortable on the ball.
Yeah, sorry, Torsos was actually trying to do a backwards wave dash to get back to that ball. Fiber pre-flipping to get there. Fiber has been impressive with his speed.
They're going for that bump again. Ground Zero love putting their, it's like the first man downfield. Love's going for the back line. They use that second man to push it towards net. And it hasn't paid off quite yet. We've seen a couple times go for it. That's a tough shot from Amphis. Misty on the save, and they do get it out.
Torsos trying to collect And you've seen a few times now where Ground Zero is trying to pass to themselves off the sidewall, but it's been denied by the Direwolves.
Here they come again.
Chip it down.
Oh, there's the pass.
Pass over to Express. He'll drop it in. A nice little passing play from Ground Zero.
And it was quite slow from Ground Zero. You saw this play really develop, and they got that last man to go from Direwolves, and Express there to just tap it in. Ground Zero finally on the board. Took them half a game. And that is credit to Direwolves and the way they've been playing defense. They've condensed the field here in game 2. They've done a good job of preventing things, but off the kickoff, Torsauce takes advantage.
A huge strike here. And you look at Torsauce, he's got to read this perfectly, has time to adjust, and slams it with his corner 70 miles an hour. A hard strike.
That was a painful one to watch from Fiber's POV, because he thinks that Vibe is at least going to get a touch on the challenge, and when he didn't, he was a little lackadaisical getting to that front post, just enough space for Torsauce to push it through.
I mean, when you hit it that hard as well, it was just unfortunate. Unfortunate for the Direwolves, giving up a kickoff goal when goals have been so hard to come by. Field pass will be broken up. Vive will tap it high and gets it to the corner. Amphis last back. Get it by Misty and tips it by. Now going for the solo play, and he will hit it. Amphis standing tall, extending Ground Zero's lead.
And once he beat Fiber, it was basically all over. Nobody else back for Direwolves, and Ground Zero now really rolling. They put up 6 shots, converted 3 of them, and have only let up 2 shots from Direwolves, which is, you know, obviously very much visible here in this game. When you think about game 1 and Direwolves on offense, they were a lot more exciting. And in this game, we really haven't seen much from them. Only a couple transitional shots catching out Ground Zero here and there, but they haven't really put together any offense. This could be the chance. That's a good touch. Looking for the dunk. Torsauce easily deals with it.
Ground Zero is picking up the pace. You can see Fiber, who was so key in the last game, struggling to get involved, sitting down. He was at 40 points for a while, now up at 70. And Torsauce giving 4 goals now to Ground Zero. You can see the panic coming out, the demo. Misty just couldn't get back, even got bumped.
And, you know, for Ground Zero, you're seeing a lot of Amphis chasing that last man. We've talked about it a couple times here now in these 2 games. This time, making great connection on that last man to get a demo. But here's one off the kickoff for Vive, and Direwolves on the board.
And they'll take it. Perfect cheat there from Vive. 1:21 left on the clock, so they get one back off kickoff. Wouldn't hurt to get another one. We did see a fake kickoff attempt last game, but we don't see one there. Tough on the diagonals to pull it off. Fiber off the sidewall. Misty denying backboard. Hard clear down to Fiber. Fiber trying to get one to bounce off the backboard, but Amphis pinched it out, and Vibe couldn't follow up with the touch. And then you see the miss there as well. Now the counterattack for Ground Zero is going to be good.
What?
That was a breakdown, really. You see the challenge at the midfield, nowhere close from Fiber.
And I couldn't get a second look at it. The replay didn't go far back enough. I don't know if Amphis purposely missed that ball, but I think it threw off Misty on his challenge, which is why Direwolves had a second whiff. And then Amphis just runs downfield to kind of shepherd players away on the Direwolves side, and Ground Zero take advantage. 5-1 now here, and they're looking to make it 6 as that one's cleared out. But with 40 seconds left, it'd be a miracle if Direwolves could get back into it.
It's been a tough game for the Direwolves, Corelli. A few mistakes on defense. Only goal that they've been able to get. And you see, that was a nice clear from Express, getting his flip back and pushing that out to the side. But it's been a really tough game for the Direwolves. Lots of misses on challenges in front of net that have directly led to a goal.
But I feel like Direwolves, one thing right and one thing wrong here in this game. Like, they started to condense the field. I mentioned that early on. They had a lot of great midfield challenges that slowed down Ground Zero in the beginning. And then I think they kind of let off the gas and then really didn't generate any offense here. Ground Zero took advantage of a lot of missed opportunity from Direwolves, and it was a completely different game for the offense of Direwolves, where they had to feel a lot more pressure from Ground Zero here in game 2.
And even on that Ampus play, you could see Misty was diving in. It seemed like he was more interested in just kind of trying to get Ampus to hit the ball away and picking up that corner boost. But when you're going up against a player like Ampus, you have to make him hit that ball out of his range to pick the play back up. Whether that's going for a quality 50 where it's pinching away or something, because if you give Ampus a ball rolling up the wall with space and boost, there's a good chance he's going to score on you.
And I just feel like for Direwolves here, looking back at these replays especially, it just feels like Ground Zero are kind of going through them uncontested. And I mentioned early on that Direwolves was doing a good job in the midfield and contesting things. But when that fell off, all of a sudden, a lot of opportunity opened up for Ground Zero. So I think Direwolves, they have to pick up the pace a little bit here. It feels like Ground Zero is starting to speed up, find their form, be a little bit more comfortable. You certainly don't want to find yourself in a match like the previous one where you're down 3-4 goals and having to make the comeback. That's worst case scenario here for Direwolves.
Direwolves trading demos here. Early on, experiencing some pressure. Vive down to Misty, though. That's a nice pass. But Misty couldn't get the backward bounce. When you're in that situation for Misty, you either want to take the shot or hit it hard off the backboard, and hitting that lip at the bottom of the wall, when it bounces up like that, it pretty much kills the attack right there.
Yep, goes into the defender's favor. And Ground Zero knew it, and I think so did Direwolves. They just backed out. But you're right. I mean, there was an opportunity to have a little bit of more continuation on that attack, and it just never came because of that touch. But that's the kind of stuff that we want to see from Direwolves, right? Like, that's the offense that they're going to need. And that's a fine shot from Misty to at least test Express. Have a couple more chances. 1, 2, 3 shots coming out in a single try. That's what they need, and they're getting it right now. If they could find a shot here, and Ground Zero getting stretched out a bit, but still no shot from Direwolves.
Oh, good speed from Express. Ampus. They'll test Vive, but Vive comes out on top. Vive getting out to that challenge there as well above the net. We're seeing a well-matched game, and a team pinch will send that high off the Ground Zero backboard.
Yeah, imagine if that one was on net. Huge opportunity for Direwolves. And now back the other way for Ground Zero, who have kind of been living off just the transitional game. It's been Direwolves on the attack that looks scary so far. And it's still another opportunity. That's a great bump on Ampus, just getting clipped by the man coming out. And Fiber will put it away.
And you see Misty up in the air, forcing Tortos to come up and challenge, and it rebounds perfectly out. And a good job for Fiber to get around that ball, flip into it with some power. It's really easy to hit that poorly.
Well, it was good for Fiber to at least put it on target, but it was Misty off his own pass. He came down and with no boost, wave dashed into Ampus to clip him to make sure that he can't make the save. And like I said, it feels like right now, Direwolves, they've been the scarier team.
On the goal line. Vive! He was coming off the sidewall. He was a split second away from saving that, but Ground Zero too fast, and they'll tie it up.
I think he might have flipped just a bit too early. I don't think he would have made the save either way. But man, that was so close for Vive. But what a save off the crossbar earlier for Direwolves. And unfortunate to let that one go in, and you sit here tied up.
Express over to Torsos, but it's over his head. That ball needed to be a little bit lower, and Torsos might have had a double tap ball.
It's good work by Fiber, honestly. I mean, he's done a great job on the ball to beat the first man, to set up something on attack. Felt like he's really been the powerhouse for the offense of Direwolves. If it's not going through him, if he's not involved in some way, it feels like their offense just dies down. But here's all of Ground Zero in front of an open net, and Torsos can't put it away. The entire team had something to choose from, and they just couldn't put it on target.
Now chaos in front of net. Vive trying to poke his way through. And normally Ground Zero puts those away, Corelli. Torsos, he'll hit harder angles than that.
Yeah, we've seen him hit way tougher shots. And I think for Direwolves, this is an opportunity to reclaim the lead if they can do it. Kind of give it a second life. It really should be 2-1, and it might be here. That's a great touch from
counterattack ball.
Here comes the opportunity. Vivus downfield. If they can get a piece of Amphis, unfortunately can't. Everyone gets out for Direwolves.
Yeah, that was a counterattack chance that needed to get hit with more pace. Vive will lob it downfield. Torsos off his own backboard will collect and hit it down. Misty passes to himself off the ceiling. Misty, what on earth?
What a touch from Misty, and that threw off the defense, completely letting it drop in front of him and then catching it on the hop. Amphis and Express just couldn't react in time. They had no idea what he was doing with it. And a great touch from Misty gives them the lead.
It was the delay, because they never in a million years, and really anyone in that defensive position is ever gonna expect that you hit it off the bounce on the ground. You've seen the ceiling double taps, but to let it bounce off the ground and get that delayed shot, it gives you that bounce boomer shot effect, and it delays it, and it just confuses the defense. Misty, that was an insane shot.
They truly didn't know when to challenge, and now Direwolves sitting up by a goal. Ground Zero had their chance to get their second, couldn't convert on the open net, and that might come back to bite them.
No, Torsos was the last line of defense there, was able to hold up strong. Amphis, his dribble shut down by Vive. Torsos will take it airborne. Amphis and Torsos both up there. I don't know what the plan was there.
I've seen them a couple times. They jump together, and that might be a good shot for
huge
Torsos.
save.
Fiber, that one actually gets out to Misty. This could be the opportunity. Get some cushion here for Direwolves. They can get a hold of it again. Here comes Vive. Shot is at Express, bouncing on the goal line. Express doing his best to get it out. And now Ground Zero have to go the length of the pitch, but Fiber is going to put a stop to that. He's going to kill it across the net, and Direwolves take a game here against Ground Zero.
They certainly do. What a game there from the Direwolves. And Misty, that shot, that was a crazy shot, and it ended up being the game winner. Ground Zero just could not get anything going on offense, it seemed like. The Direwolves dictating the tempo, have the edge in and just the number of shots and also possession, you feel like. But also, Corelli, you think back to that opportunity where Torsos had a very good look on net that he hit wide. This game could have been different for Ground Zero.
I mean, they all could have put that one away, really. And for Ground Zero, I don't know how much that's really affecting them here, because obviously that would have changed the course of this game. But look at that shot from Misty and Express there. I mean, what can you do? It's so tough. Like you said, that delay, and then also the power. I mean, getting that touch on target. For Direwolves, this was a good game for them. They really picked up the pace. That's what we were asking for from their last performance. And they finally take the game here. They've only done it one other time here this year to take two, so we'll have to go back to the pitch to see if they can do it again.
Well, Direwolves, they do certainly have the task laid out ahead of them. Coming in as the underdogs. Ground Zero won the last major, and they have been a dominant force in the Oceanic region. This would be a huge upset. Amphis, hard hit to the backboard. Misty didn't make the read. It's bouncing out, and Fiber will get a touch on the ball, messing up Express's shot.
Oh, go for the bump. Yeah, he almost got him there. I think he didn't realize that he could do it, but Fiber still gets the shot on target and puts it away. So smart on the ball on both ends here, as he does get the demo in the end. And what a challenge.
There were so many demos. And then the block in the corner, you know, you never really plan for that type of play, but you put yourself in positions where it might happen.
And I'm looking at their cams there. They were laughing about it too, because it was just such a crazy play. Everything exploding around them, and Fiber just whips around on the wall in the challenge to put it on target. Direwolves sitting up 1-0 here.
Ground Zero showing some cracks in their armor. Now boosted up. Amphis trying to get that out to one of his teammates who have plenty. But that's shut down. Tons of boost wasted. It might be going in. No, it's going to be too high. Rebound out to Fiber. But Amphis breaking up that play. And that ball, if it's bouncing a little lower, Corelli, you think they might have gotten another one.
I don't know what's going on with Vive. He somehow is downfield every single time one of those long clears come out from Direwolves. I mean, he is on the back line of ground zero. That's how far out of that play he was. And the ball came out, so that was a tough one. And you're right, maybe if it was a little bit lower, the opportunity was there. Honestly, even if it was a little bit higher, he might have been able to get to it as well. But for Direwolves, I think they're happy sitting on their 1-goal lead. If they can get another one, they'll take it. But they got to focus on the ground zero offense. You can't think that they're going to miss too many opportunities like they did in the last game. That's a tough read. And Amphis will get an easy goal.
And you saw Vive, the last one back, Misty and Fiber both going for it. And it was an awkward read. And it was too much to ask for him. The ball bouncing down hard. Ground zero. Now back in this. We're all tied up. The Direwolves have been stingy. We expected this to be much more one-sided, just going off the desk, predicting a 4-0. Everyone going with, and even there, that was a scoring look. The demo on the goal line, and Amphis just had to redirect that on target, and it was wide.
Another opportunity. Now Amphis, he's got boost to work with. He's going to go into the air, but he's got to get over Fiber. It's not going to happen. And a good challenge will get Direwolves out. But you're right, James. Even from what we heard from the desk, we feel like ground zero would be crushing this series. History says that as well. But more importantly, even how they're playing today, I mean, ground zero absolutely crushed Arrows early on. And right now they are struggling to play here with Direwolves as they, honestly, the shooting accuracy and the offense has really started to slow down.
And some surprising touches. Ground zero's been caught a few times. And there's a nice drop down with Misty. The save from Misty. Huge effort. Misty keeping this scoreline even. That was a nice save.
All right, in the nick of time as well. Everyone was beat. Now less than 2 minutes to go. Misty, he could put another one away. Tough angle, almost gets the touchdown. And ground zero struggling to hold on to the ball. This is another opportunity now for Direwolves as Vive's shot is weak.
Double commit as well. Torshas did pick up the corner boost, so he'll be able to defend if this comes to the middle. But losing on that challenge there, Vive trying to put the pressure on. Be a chance. Express didn't get the double tap. Now Amphis going to have to play D. The ball kicks up in the air. Fiber couldn't get the touch. Neither does Vive. Torsos with a shot opportunity will go for net. Misty will get the save yet again, but a demo from Torsos. Things starting to heat up for ground zero. Amphis tips it back. Torsos slowing it down. Will flick it over the defenders. Fiber clearing it to the corner. Express is there. The attack still ongoing for ground zero. Torsos off the backboard. The double tap, it hit off the arc, and it's gonna be saved. Torsos with the tap didn't pick up the corner boost. This might be the point where the ground zero attack starts to die out, starting to run out of boost.
Oh man, the Direwolves defense, they are hanging on by a thread, but they do get out. Watching that one from Misty's POV, he had to be everywhere at once. And ground zero, you start to think about that shooting accuracy really not going through for them. I mean, the in and out save from Misty was great right at the end, but other than that, it didn't really feel like the defense was tested, especially when it got real dicey for Direwolves. Here's the final 15 seconds, though, and ground zero have an opportunity.
Misty deserves an award for the saves he's had this game. Torsos trying to get it out to the middle. Will it stay up? It will. Express actually gets a nice pass over. Amphis at 0 seconds. What a play from ground zero.
Oh, and that's such a tough touch over to Express, and Amphis just out of the way of Misty just when Direwolves thought they were getting to overtime after feeling so much pressure. The last save doesn't come through for them, and that's a great shot from Amphis. A lot of credit given over to him to get that one away from the defense. It is exactly what we were just talking about from ground zero. That's what they needed, is all these shots going straight at Direwolves, and Ground Zero finally putting one away from the defense, and it's the game winner.
It took him that entire game to put together that play. Amphis scoring it, putting it, right where he needed to, but that pass from Express was lovely. We take a look at the highlights from this last game. There was that odd goal to start things out, Corelli, and that was really the only goal that the Direwolves were able to score. But on defense, they were holding up quite nicely until the end there. You saw some spectacular saves coming out of Misty, and you thought the Direwolves might have had enough to eke out another win.
Yeah, but it did feel like in that last minute, 45 seconds or so, the wheels really started to fall off for Direwolves. The presence that they had in the midfield completely fell off. They turtled up on their own side, and you can't do that against Ground Zero. And they have so many opportunities here to actually put something on target, and it maybe took them a little bit longer than it should have, but they eventually break through in the final second.
So Ground Zero moved to match point, trying to book their ticket to the grand finals. The position that they're familiar with as well, Corelli, especially here at the majors.
And it's an expected position. Obviously coming into it, they were actually talking in the pre-match. They want Cringe Society. That's what they said. They wanted to play him, and Torsas getting a second touch, almost able to put it through. But they're out for blood here today, and they're going to have to go through Direwolves here, who have certainly put up a good fight. But that's a good pass, and a shot off the post from Torsas. The accuracy still plaguing, but the offense still there for Ground Zero.
And I'm sure the audience will be in for a treat. Renegades and Cringe Society with so much on the line in the next semifinal. But here and now, we've got the Direwolves trying to keep their Cinderella run alive.
Oh, here's a chance.
This is good pressure mounting. Fiber will go for net, and a save from Torsas. Amphis also jumped for it. It was a hard shot. Express buying some time, but that double tap sends it back to the middle. Backboard pass. Amphis has good vision on where all the Direwolves players were and was able to get the clear. Torsas now to the corner. Amphis with the corner boost steal. He'll back pass it to Express, who takes it up the wall.
Those are some crucial opportunities, though, from Direwolves they just didn't convert on. That's a great touch from Fiber. And there's the pinch coming out. But Direwolves, a couple great chances there. Couldn't put something on target. That's another chance for Misty. As they're still fighting for it on the Ground Zero side, it seems like they are doing a great job in the challenge game when it comes to the final third. But Torsas will put an end to that and move Ground Zero downfield.
The miscommunication there from Express and Amphis. Express, he slowed down a bit. That pass from Amphis did find its way through. Express now booming it. Gonna bounce off the backboard. Fiber will hit it to the side. Amphis, ground pinch potentially, but it's blocked out. Vive got the save. Now floating up above net again. Too high for Express. He used up a lot of boost for that. Now we'll have to retreat as the counterattack is on. Misty up against Amphis, and Amphis will hit it back. Fiber back to the sidewall, though. Not ready to give up just yet. Lobbed it towards net. Torsas clears it over to Amphis. Good thing Vive got that touch for the Direwolves. Otherwise, that could have been a shot opportunity.
And then he smacked Torsas back to the ground. Torsas still got a touch on it. Express, he wanted the pass out to Amphis, but Misty took care of him. Now Misty, the shot on target, all by himself. That's great work from him to give Direwolves the lead.
And the Direwolves have been deadly on these counterattacks, Corelli. They've been picking up their heads, looking for options downfield and finding them. And that was a massive goal for him. Now taking the lead in the final 2 minutes.
Okay. I don't know if that's going to work out for him.
That fake kickoff did not go as planned, Corelli.
Wow, they sent both Vive and Missy peeled off to give it to Fiber, but Express just challenges through the ball.
I don't think I've ever seen a kickoff strat like that, to be honest.
I haven't seen it either.
I don't even know what to call that.
What comes to mind is the banana split. But, kind of peel off on both sides.
I don't think the banana split's going to be too popular, but that block almost finds its way in. Torch sauce. Gonna clear it out now. The banana split. I like that though. I think that's what you call it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that one's ever going to be used again, but still a tie game for Direwolves. It's a shame that they give up the lead so quickly after some great work from Misty. But here we are.
Too. That's so frustrating when your defense has been rock solid. You're shutting down all these opportunities, and then not only for it to be a kickoff goal, but for one that you think that was miscommunicated potentially. If that was planned, then I would have loved to see the scrim where that worked.
Well, they're still not out of it here as we're in the final minute, and that's a dangerous one coming across the net for Direwolves. They got to find a way out here. Ground Zero starting to clamp down as they did in the last game. In the final minute, here's Torsauce into the air, has some boost. Amphis flying across the Direwolf side. But fruitless endeavor there for Ground Zero.
The Direwolves, they're still in this series, but they cannot let another one in. Express to the middle. Misty will tip it to the corner. Block from Amphis, bouncing hard off the ceiling. Fiber will clear it downfield. Misty waiting towards net, should be saved. Express does hit it to the corner where Torsauce is waiting and will boom it down the sideline. To be careful here. The Direwolves don't want to give up another last-second goal, but they will, and it's Amphis yet again kicking them in the same spot over and over.
Oh, so much pain on the Direwolves side. Misty just barely missing the touch, and then Vibe getting punched out of the way by Torsauce. Everyone flying at the ball, but nobody making contact. And Ground Zero again in the final seconds take the lead and take the series.
Ground Zero going to be moving on to the grand finals. Amphis, some massive goals for Ground Zero. You saw the 0-second goal the game before, and Amphis with 2 seconds left on the clock getting that go-ahead goal. Amphis being the edge there for Ground Zero in those final moments. And you expected it, Corell. I think everyone did. You just look at the numbers. You look at the desk. Ground Zero, you look at the last major. This Ground Zero team, so good. And they've proved it yet again, going to the grand finals. But what a grand finals it's going to be. Renegades going up against Cringe Society for that #2 spot for the championships. Could we have asked for much better, Corell?
I don't think so. I think that's exactly the teams that you want in the finals. So we got 2 more matches here. I'm excited to see how it all pans out.
The high stakes, the drama, it's all going to play out when we come back after the break.